This is tagged as March 2017, so tell us where we're at and what you're rocking there.
So this is outside the Chinatown gates, you know, the big monument there.
In Manchester, where we're at today.
That's where I'm from, it's in Manchester. So here I was really into Techwear. Like you can tell it's all black. The only thing that stands out is the hat that I'm wearing right now, which
is it exactly the same one?
Hat,
oh, yeah. Nice one, mate. I love a bit of continuity.
Yeah, it's mad. But then everything, that was like peak 2017. That was my peak, like streetwear, kind of getting into out of formal wear into like, oh, I can dress like this on the street and wear whatever. And it was like advent of Depop and Basement approved for just started. So I was like way into that. And then it was just more like a segue from like sartorial stuff like suits and stuff to like casual wear. And then I got massively into Stone Island just based on like the material composition, how it's made. Tech is how it was made. It's like the original Techwear. I think the reason why I was like, there's loads of YouTube videos in Basement were talking about Acronym, and like around the time Acronym was popping off.
Yeah.
They did like loads of Nike collabs and everything like that. I think John Mayer did a collab and I was like, Acronym's crazy. And then I looked at the price and went, that's also crazy. So then I went over to Depop because that was the thing, and I was like, let's look at what's going on there, because Acronym creative director designer was Errol
Hugh.
Yeah, Errol Hugh. Yeah, so he designed for Shadow Project. So then that's where my interest peaked for that. I was like, okay, so they're just as tech, and I can kind of get something similar on Depop for way cheaper.
Yeah, man.
Like
I guess that was probably before the mega price boom of that kind of Stone Island of the last 4-5 years, maybe.
Yeah, I had a huge wardrobe full of it. I had like, at one point, I had like 30 pieces and I could just wear one every single day.
Wow.
And I got them so cheap. I think this jacket I'm wearing here, which was like, I think it looked like a nylon shimmer, but it wasn't nylon. It was like mesh.
Right.
Like a mesh shimmer jacket. It was real nice. It had like, it was porous on the outside like mesh, and it had like the sheen to it because it was the fabric that was used. I just loved it. It was like, I had to sell it in the end, but like it was a great piece.
Have you sold most of the stuff that you bought in that era?
Unfortunately, yeah. So I should have kept a lot of it actually. There's I had the 30th anniversary anorak as well. People who know have got it. Like that was like the grey old piece now. Like it's going for like $2,000 maybe.
Christ,
that was hard. It was like,
what did you pay?
I paid like 400 quid.
All right, yeah, it's a big markup.
It was a lot. It was a lot of money at the time, but then I didn't sell it for much more. I was like, well, I need the money. Like let's get it going for like 4 or 5. And then I've never been about like reselling really. So it's like if I've worn it and I've it's done me well, I'll give it to someone else and then they can have it. But
they
it's
kind of like for a bit longer.
Yeah, and then the whole Basement thing was like, oh, resell. And I was like, I can't really get behind it, but. Yeah, there's other elements here. There's like a kimono that I had there, so you see a bit of green popping out. So I used to have that. I think there was a Supreme hoodie in there. That was before like it was really mainstream, kind of like it was just about to like pop off. And then Skepta wore. It was that year I think Skepta wore the pink one, like a pink Supreme hoodie with an embroidered Supreme in it, and it just went off. After that, I think it was at the point where it was about to blow up.
So you're ahead of that curve.
It's always been there. Like, well, I think subliminally, I didn't even know about Supreme, but like back in the high school days, my friend had like a snapback. He was like, "Oh, don't touch my hat. I got it from New York," and I was like, "Right." Didn't really pay attention to it, and then later on, I was like, "This is a nice bag." Yeah. On eBay again, I loved eBay. I was like,
"Yeah, man."
One of the first exciting eBay guys, and then it was just on there, and then people were selling stuff from USA, and I was like, "Oh, wait, that's the hat." And then it was a really nice like skate bag, but with like a leather bottom, like Visvim's kind of style.
Yeah.
So I love that bag. I beat that to shit. It was like, I had it for years, and it was one of my favorite things. But
it's good to wear your clothes, man. Like to put them to good use for the purpose they're intended for.
I think so. Yeah.
Can we just touch on the other bits then? So the orange hat is what, 7 or 8 years old, and it still looks boss on you now. Like it looks like your hat. You can tell it's like
it's worn in.
Yeah.
That's actually So I got that from Top Man when that was a thing.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, it wasn't really much to go shopping on. It was either super high end, Mr. Porter and like online stuff, or Depop, or like Top Man, high street stuff. I've always mixed and matched. I've always think like, it was part of the trip. You go to town, check out Top Man, you walk around, see what's about. I don't know if it was a thing to do, but it was like a market research thing. Like I didn't think it was market research, but I was like, what are the current trends? And then just work from there. Like I'd look online and go, okay, that's happening right now on high fashion stuff. And like Mr. Porter's showing this, Browns is showing this, Matches is doing this, and then it's just a mix mash. I just used to walk around town just looking at what did VM do and what's VM saying, what season is it right now, what colours in. But then I just saw this cap and I was like, you know what, I kind of like it.
And orange is obviously your colour. You know, you've chosen the statement jacket you've got on today in that tone, and you've got the orange hat. Yeah.
I think nice, maybe it actually is my favourite colour. I just don't realise it is.
It pops, man. Like especially in an all dark outfit like you've got on there, a little flash of colour kind of goes a long way. And the kimono as well, is that something? Did you have a lot of that kind of Asian traditional wear that you were mixing, or was it the Techwear kind of influence that brought that into your wardrobe?
I think it was Techwear, but it's also like, because it's quite different, it's a juxtaposition, so no one really wore kimonos, like no one really does, but I could get away with it because I'm Asian, right? So then people aren't going to be like, what are you doing? So I was like thinking, I like suits, and I was like, well, how do you dress a suit differently? And then I wore a kimono with a shirt under a blazer,
right? And
it just had that free-flowing thing, and it maybe came down from Techwear, like, you know, acronym and stuff. It was my take on an acronym fit. I think I have a balaclava there as well because it was winter. So,
and it's a Techwear fit.
Yeah, pre-COVID. It was like, pre-COVID balaclava. People are like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, yeah.
Get arrested for that in Manchester City Centre pre-COVID.
That was cool.
And the place that you're in as well, like it's got the whole kind of neon cityscape, all the bright lights. Did you choose that particular position to take the picture in because it suited what you were wearing?
I think it was just the coincidence. We just went out to eat and then we're just like, yo, this looks like a sick shot, and then my friend took the picture, and I was like, I wasn't really into like fit pics. I know you've been through my Insta, so I'm not really into fit pics really, but
so when the opportunity strikes you.
I think this is back in the day when Instagram still had filters, remember the little borders and stuff, so that's probably why it looks, so I'm guessing that's why it looks like blown out, but it worked out well. Thinking back to it, it just reminds you of a simpler time, you know, like Depop, and like where it wasn't so everywhere. Like Stone, it wasn't like everyone wore Stoney and everyone knew about it. It's kind of like,
still felt like you were doing a niche thing.
But even though it wasn't.
Nice, man. Sick fit, sick pick. Lots to dig into. Throwback to how old do you reckon you are there?
I'd say, well, I could walk, probably like 2 or 3 years old. Maybe.
The outfit's popping, man. Like, I'm taking style inspo from that today.
And that would have been like peak 90s, so that's like 92, 93 probably. And you can tell like by the triple denim.
Yeah, man.
Oh, is it triple denim? It is. I've got a denim shirt on.
So look, for those people listening just in audio, give us a kind of top to toe rundown of what you're wearing.
So I think this is back in, well, obviously when you're a kid you get dressed by your parents or whatever, but this is in my auntie's house. So I have like a white cap, like a little snapback, and then a denim jacket with like roll-up cuffs, so my sleeves are rolled up just because it's too big for me. Denim joggers, and they look like high tops with straps on.
Nice, man. It's a fit.
I haven't looked at that in a long time, but
like the silhouette, I've often said this about people's kid photos, but the kind of shape of kids' clothes when they wear them is what a lot of people aspire to kind of recreate as they get a little bit older. And the shape of that denim jacket, like I've got my cuffs rolled up today, but I just love the way that you have to do that on a kid to get it to fit them properly. It looks cute, but also like considered, it's like stylish, I think.
I think that was just a trend back in there, because like my parents were, you know, they were massive in they were like, around the time of the 80s, they would go out and dress themselves, and like it was like 80s fashion heavily, because my parents were like 20 odd around that time. So that's like peak, like when you're going out trying to impress people, dress well. That's what was considered cool at the time. So then I think it just trickled down. But I like.
Is that why they dumped you at the auntie's house so they could go and have a big night out?
Probably, yeah. And I just like, then my auntie was like trying to keep me busy. But yeah, gave me one of them massive guitars, which was probably the same size as me. So
yeah, man. Is there a little keyboard lying around in the background as well?
Yeah, it looks like that. I mean, maybe like getting the drum presets.
Yeah, man. Like my little sister got a piano for her little kids, and she was asking me advice because I play piano and stuff, and I was like, get one with no demo on, no drum beats, because that drum beat will be the bane of your existence. Like I can still hear the ones from my music class on the Casio keyboards, like
I think so too,
burned into my head.
Yeah, that was.
But yeah, man, music, I know it was a big part of your life for quite a long time. It obviously started at an early age. Were you interested from this kind of 3-4 year old era?
I guess it was. Like I remember like the earliest point where I wanted to play guitar was in like nursery or primary school. And I obviously couldn't do it because it was just massive and I didn't have the patience. I was like, why am I not good at this? Like, as everyone who starts playing guitar
we didn't have ukuleles knocking around like they do for little kids nowadays. It was big guitar or nothing, I guess.
So back in the day, they didn't, well, it was pre-internet era, so like you couldn't get anything you wanted unless you knew someone with one. So it's like you just get what you're given really at that point, and then you kind of pick it up from that. But it's always influenced me. So yeah, growing up, I think music's probably one of the main things that I was really interested in, still is, but it's taken a side step, but it surrounds everything that I'm doing, I think.
Yeah, we'll come on to what it's taken a side step for a little bit later on. But on the fit, man, the double denim, that's a rock and roll look. It's a status quo thing, isn't it? Double denim.
So, yeah, or a flock of seagulls. One of
an 80s thing.
Let's
have a little look. Oh, it's boss, man. Look at the jaunty angle on the cap as well. Like, it's got a...
I think you're right. It's considered. Yeah, it's considered. I mean, my auntie or my parents must have been like, oh, let's make him look cute, you know? And they're like, to the side.
So my under my jacket, I've got a Breton striped shirt.
Nice.
I'm thinking now, looking at yours, I might have to turn that up over the outside of my jacket to recreate the look.
I think you're there. You're like 80% there.
Okay, that's going to bring us kind of bang up to date. We've got more Japanese influence on the top in here. Tell us where you're at here and what you're rocking.
Okay, so this is outside my shop, which we're sat in currently. I am rocking a bit of a Norbit fit. So I've got like the Norbit jacket.
Bought from, was it our good mate down the road, Tim? I know they stocked that.
I saw it at Tim's initially. I wanted to cop it, but I wasn't.
Join the club.
Yeah, I really wanted to cop it. But it's like the same thing. His store's amazing.
Yeah, man.
But just come correct with like your bank account.
Yeah.
So I saw that and I was like, fuck, I just put it off for ages thinking I don't need it. And then I had the thing with Nike, so they invited me to London. So I was like, right, I need to dress up for this. Or like, I didn't need to, but it was kind of like, I felt like it was an excuse of, you know, if ever I was going to get an excuse to buy this kind of jacket.
Yeah.
And I found it on Pick Store or somewhere like in London, and they had like 20% off first purchase. And I was like, yo, I'm going to milk that.
Yeah,
like,
man.
It was still a crazy amount, and it's probably the most I've ever spent on a jacket. But it's got that Japanese influence. You can see it's not gone.
The asymmetric slash, the ties.
I like the ties because it's like traditional Chinese wear, like Chinese like formal wear back in the day. It's with the little buttons with the tied cord on the side, like a closure. And then I had pants from Uniqlo. It's always a staple. It's like, for basics, it's great.
Yeah.
But like, so sometimes, you know, I used to think like, you have one expensive piece and then you pepper it with like cheap pieces. And then your fit looks sick.
The supporting cast for the superstar.
That's it.
But the jacket, like for those people listening in audio, it's like what kind of blue is that? How would you describe it? It's kind of palish. Like,
it's a cool material. It's like paper. It feels like paper.
But it's waterproof, right? It's 3L, like rainproof thing.
Yeah. It's rainproof, waterproof, but it feels like paper, like, you know, cardstock.
Okay.
That's what the fabric feels
Wild,
like.
man.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's a bit modular as well, right? And you can kind of like shift how much of it is on show or like...
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So it's got button closures, it's got a zip on the inside, and it's got the extra, you know, the tassels. I call them tassels on the outside, like ribbon bow things.
Yeah.
To like close it, and it's asymmetrical, so it opens like a double-breasted jacket. And then you have a zip on the inside, and then you can button it on the top like your collar, and then tie the things. It's just a really functional piece because it's lightweight, but then it's waterproof, so it's great for summer. It's also good for winter if you layer it up.
Yeah.
And it's got a really nice hood, so it's got a little peak on it. I love hoods with peaks.
What, like a thin, right?
Okay. Yeah. So it's like it sits well and it holds shape.
Nice, man.
Like hoods, they always like droop, but that was like it's everything about it is considered.
Norbit's a boss. Like, I remember trying on a few bits that they had in Owl Store in Harrogate. When I went in there, they had like a kind of mesh bug-proof jacket that zipped right up to the top, and I was like, this is a crazy garment. But you know, you feel the materials and the construction, it's all on point, but the concept is just like, you know, like nothing else.
I think he's definitely taking like traditional kind of garments and kind of made them modern, and like it's like very Snow Peak.
Yeah.
I think he was designer at Snow Peak.
Oh, all right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like the pockets wise, I think that's where like I see like Snow Peak jackets. I'm like, that's hard.
Yeah, man.
And then I've got like the GH Bass on.
Nice.
That's a Michael Jackson kind of vibe.
Little white socks, got them popping. What are they like?
That's it.
Penny loafer kind of.
This photo is taken by a good friend of mine, Jordan Bunker, for Vitsu. It was for the shelving company that I use. 'Cause they've decked out my stuff. They've been great.
Their stuff's beautiful.
But then I thought, let's just do a juxtaposition. So it's a piece about me who deals with sneakers all the time. So I thought, you know what, let's just dress it up with like penny loafers.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, looking around the shop today, there's not just sneakers in here. There is shoes of all types, like increasingly so. I know when you started out, it was very sneaker focused, but I think you're more and more getting other types of shoes in, aren't you?
But I think it speaks about the market as well. Like, lots have changed since I started. So I started in 2018, 17, around the time of like before sneakers blew up.
Yeah.
I think like the biggest thing then was like, was it Yeezys and Off-White was huge at the point. Now it's kind of just taken it's added a little bit more extra dynamic to it. It's more interesting now than it was. But yeah, it's grown. It's grown to like different avenues and different things. But I don't notice it because I look at shoes every day. But I do notice like being in a different part of town, I get different kind of shoes, different genres.
Nice, man.
It's good to know.
And just to touch on the location, we're outside the Sneaker Pharm store, which is in Manchester, Dale Street, right?
That's right.
Dale Street?
Yeah, that's where we're at. 28 Dale Street, so just on the top of Northern Quarter.
Yeah.
Picked the spot. It was kind of rushed decision to pick the spot because our last place was like closing down from trying to get everyone out. So I luckily found this. Rent was crazy high, but then I was like, you know what, like I got to do it. You got to take the risk at that point. So I took the risk, and then now we are here year on, which is great.
Man, well done for surviving that long. I mean, fucking hell, it's a tough world out there.
Yeah, retail's hard. Like, if you do business and like independent, then shout out to you because it's a tough one.
Yeah, man. Well, big up, you're smashing it, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about the shop in the main ep.
Yeah, man.
Nice one for doing that, man. Appreciate it.
Trust me, it feels amazing.